PFP family, what's happening? I'm here with my two greatest friends. We've got Grace Rourke on the live today, mainly because she was working out over there and she was like, hey, what are you guys doing? We're like, come be on the live with us for the first 30 seconds. So we are going to interview Grace real quick. Grace, what's your name?
Grace.
Her name is Grace. What school do you go to?
TJ.
TJ High School. Going into what grade?
9.
What sports do you play?
Softball and basketball.
Softball, basketball. What's your favorite food?
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
Gravy or no gravy?
With gravy or without?
Depends on it, right?
I mean, if you're having it with like turkey gravy, but like if you're just having it by itself, I like that.
Okay.
Maybe gluten-free gravy, dairy-free gravy.
Fat-free gravy.
Fat-free gravy.
That wouldn't taste good.
What is one piece of advice you have for all the athletes out there?
Remember to stay hydrated.
Remember to stay hydrated. You heard from Grace herself. Give Grace a round of applause, Grace. Go finish up your push-ups now.
She just threw all the water on her face to make it look like she was sweating.
Guys, with this Facebook Live, we want to share with you all our new theme for the month. It's really the one thing that separates the good athletes from the great athletes. It's so simple, even a caveman could do it, yet very few people do this. They start to do this, but then they stop. And the one word is going to be illustrated in a beautiful story, one of my favorites. Coach Travis is going to share with you the story of the Chinese bamboo tree.
The Chinese bamboo tree, and I'm telling you what, if your kid has been here for over a year, this is the one message that if you go to them, they're going to remember this one. This one sticks with the kids, and it illustrates what's going to take them from good to great. So the Chinese bamboo nut, it's a tough, hard little nut. They dig it deep, hole, they put it in the ground, they bury it, and from that day forward, that farmer has to go to that spot and water it and weed it and make sure the sun can hit it. And they have to go there for 365 days in a row. And after a whole year, they get back to the spot and nothing happens. All right? So
Nothing?
again, nothing.
Not a
Nothing
sprout.
happens, not even a sprout. They do it again for another 365 days. Year 2, they don't miss a day, because if you miss a day, you risk that seed dying. Nothing. Year 3, year 4, they see nothing. And what I've been telling the high schoolers, the kids that we have in here, 4 years is doing something consistently for your entirety of high school and not seeing any results. But there's one reason why they stay consistent, and it's this path that they're going to reap a harvest at the end has been proven by their ancestors and those before them that if they continue this consistent path, that in year 5, they're going to hear something crackling under the ground, and over the next 6 weeks, this bamboo tree is going to grow 90 feet. If you've been by PFP, that's 4 times the size of this building. And if you haven't been by PFP, come check it out and imagine 4 of them stacked on top of each other, and that's what happens in that 6 weeks. But what happens is a lot of people, they see 90 feet, they see 6 weeks, and they think that farmer called a lucky break. But what a lot of people fail to see is they don't see that 5 years that go into it. So too often when we see someone achieve things, we say, hey, they got the lucky break, or they're gifted, or they're this, or they're that, and we try to rationalize why they achieved it, but we don't see the 5 years of triumph and struggle that put them in that situation to blow up and get 90 feet of growth in that 6 weeks, metaphorically.
So this makes me think of the law of the path. It's a very similar law to the Chinese bamboo tree, but the law of the path states that whatever path that you're on, that will lead to the destination that you arrive at. And it's super simple, but with the Chinese bamboo tree, the reason why these guys stay consistent watering it for 5 years is because it's been a proven path. They know for a fact that by the time they get to the end of year 5, as long as they stay consistent, they know what's going to happen. And the law of the path is perfect for a student athlete who is trying to become a better on-the-field athlete. Maybe they're trying to get into a great college. Maybe they want to get a scholarship. The law of the path states that as long as you get on the right path, stay on the right path, stay on the right path, you'll eventually end up at the destination that you're desiring. But oftentimes, we get on the right path because maybe we saw one of our friends doing it, or maybe we heard it from a coach, or maybe our favorite professional athlete is on that path. We get on the right path, and then we get off the path. And then we jump onto a different path for a little while. And then we think that if we just come back to the right path, we should still be able to achieve the results. But compounding efforts are what lead to the 90 feet of growth for the bamboo tree. You see, the bamboo tree is growing. It doesn't look like it underneath or on the surface, but underneath it is growing, and so are you when you're doing the right things. There's so many things that this lesson can teach you. And if you're a coach watching this, man, teach your kids about the Chinese bamboo tree. You know, if you want to see light bulbs go off and them to finally connect the dots of, man, this is why I haven't achieved what I want to achieve. The reason is because I haven't stayed consistent long enough to see the results. I wanted 90 feet results in 10 days. And our culture has kind of ingrained that in our brains a little bit, but that just doesn't work. It leaves people frustrated, disappointed, mad, upset, you name it. That's why the 90 feet of growth happens in 5 years.
Yeah, and the thing is, when we get infatuated with that growth, it comes back to we have a very cinematic society where we just see wins. And a lot of times that's us seeing that 90-foot growth and not that 5 years prior to it.
So for you, whether you're an adult or a student athlete watching this, what is the 90 feet of growth you're hoping to achieve, right? Maybe it's a big thing. Maybe you want that 90-foot tall Chinese bamboo tree in your life, which might be a scholarship. It might be, what else might it be?
It could be landing your dream job. It could be maintaining healthy relationships with your family. I mean, there's a lot of big things. It depends what you put the value on, and that's the 90-foot area you want to go after.
Yeah, and I think the reason why I was having trouble trying to figure out what the 90 foot of growth is, it's because that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is, if you want to have nice white teeth someday and avoid having to go to the dentist and get root canals, watering your Chinese bamboo seed is just brushing your teeth and flossing them every day. But you're never going to achieve what you want to achieve or have the life that you want if you can't grasp this principle of consistency and do it every day. You ask anybody what their biggest struggle is in life, I can guarantee you almost everybody says, staying consistent. You know, I start to do the right stuff and then I fall off. I start to eat healthy, then I fall off. And there's a few things that people do who are consistent in order to stay consistent. One of those things is accountability. They've got coaches, they've got mentors, they've got friends who challenge them and hold them accountable in their life. They've got that. They have teachers, people who are teaching them how to up-level their game in different areas. Right? That's one of the reasons why we want our kids to stay in our doors in season, because just like the Chinese bamboo tree, if you stop watering it for a couple days, it's not going to grow anymore. It's going to be done. All that effort, man, it's not wasted because you learned something from it, but man, it really does affect the process.
Yeah, I mean, going on that, when the athletes come in here, there's a noticeable difference in that mindset. They get their minds right. But not only that, you get the physical benefits too. And when you start missing sessions, then I mean, both kind of go a little wonky at times. So I think the big thing is that one of that consistency, one of watering that plant consistently, could be just getting in that one time. You know what I mean? Making sure you're taking care of what you need to take care of. And the greats are able to find time and make it happen. Others sometimes pull back. And you got to figure out what's your priority.
So I'll leave you guys with one last thing. As far as us at PFP goes, as far as our coaches, there are a few things that we do consistently day after day after day that I don't know if a lot of coaches do this or not. We consistently, day after day, make one-to-one relationship connections with our athletes no matter how many we have. We consistently send them videos and text messages on off days to stay connected with them, get their mind right.
Give her that stinking thinking.
We consistently, as coaches, are learning every single day how to grow and get better ourselves. We're consistently every day working out ourselves. We've got reasons why, though, and I think that if you were to leave this message with something, it would be this. The reason why you haven't stayed consistent, the reason why you haven't stayed consistent on the things that you know you should do, you just haven't figured out enough reasons why. For me, I know why I stay connected with my athletes on off days. I know why I set up one-on-one meetings with them. It's because the impact that I want to have in that kid's life is worth it. It's because I believe that I was put on this earth to do that, right? So it's a connection to my greater purpose. You got to have enough reasons why you want to do something. Otherwise, the what will fade away. You got to know why and have enough good reasons why.
I mean, it comes back to what's your why, right? That's going to be what drives you. Oh, yeah. That's what's going to drive you to go to that patch of dirt and water it for 5 years. I mean, you think that farmer gets a little discouraged? He doesn't even know if that thing's still alive down there, but he's continuously harvesting it because he knows there's going to be a reward on the end of that. He's going to reap a harvest at the end of that.
I got one funny story I have to tell you. So there's a joke that kind of goes around PFP now. I shared it with all of our college athletes. I squeegee. If my wife is listening to this, this is great. I squeegee the inside of our shower after every single time I take a shower.
I'd never
squeegee, right? Travis does not have near good enough reason as to why he would ever do something like that, right? He definitely doesn't have an emotional connection to it. That word is called affect. But for me, my wife, it makes her happy when I squeegee the inside of the shower. She asked me to do it as her husband. I really don't want to, and I don't see a ton of benefit in it, but my biggest reason why I still do it is because it makes my wife happy. You have to find an emotional reason why you want to keep doing something, like the person who wants to lose weight and work out. The person who wants to lose weight and work out because they had a family member go through and battle heart disease and have a heart attack. That's good enough reason to keep going. But I'm telling you what, until you come up with that deep emotional reason why you want to do something, that's the reason why you stopped. That's the reason why you quit early. That's the reason why you started the habit and then stopped it. And you're like, dang it, why can't I do it? Why can't I do it? Because you haven't thought about why should you do it.
Yes, yes. So just summarizing it, 1, consistency is going to be what elevates you, and that why that you find is going to be what fuels the consistency. So they definitely go hand in hand. So when you find what you want to be great at, find a way to be consistent, and if you really want to be great at it, find why it's important to you so you can really go after it.
Travis is going to come up with a why someday on why he wants to shave his beard, right? Right now, there's just not enough reasons why he should do it, so he hasn't done it.
I got more reasons why I want to grow
He wants to keep it.
But there's so many I don't want to take your time with that one.
Guys, have a great rest of your Tuesday. Have a great rest of your week. We love you all. We thank you and appreciate your time for watching us. See you next week for a little bit more motivation on consistency.
And keep that mind right.
Peace.